From KARK4 and Fox 16, this is a special report. Here's Mitch McCoy.
Hello, good day to you. There is heavy police presence in a Conway neighborhood right now. It's Dave Ward and South Mitchell in Conway. You see that vehicle there along with a police vehicle. This is an area that is right near the heart of Conway, and there is a large law enforcement presence out in this area. So good day to you. I'm Mitch McCoy. As our photographer continues to capture the images unfolding out there, I want to get to my colleague, Katrin Asaf. She just arrived on the scene a few moments ago. Katrin, catch us up to speed on what's happening out there. Again, this is Dave Ward, South Mitchell in Conway. Law enforcement asking people to avoid the area.
Yeah, Mitch, that's right. Where we are right now is on South Mitchell. You can see that it's sort of a residential neighborhood. And what Arkansas State Police has told us, they're the ones who are overseeing this investigation right now, is that the crime scene you're seeing behind me is what led from a pursuit. They couldn't tell me where that pursuit started, but we do know that ASP and Conway police who were assisting were chasing this car that you see in that crime scene, where it ended up here on Dave Ward and South Mitchell. We know that it started on the highway and came off of I-40. When we came off of I-40, we saw that the on-ramp at Dave Ward was shut down by police. So we do know that at least the pursuit stretched onto I-40 and then came off of that exit as well. And it ended up behind me. We don't have confirmation yet on what's going on in terms of if they're looking for someone, if anything's going on with someone in that vehicle. But from neighbors we spoke to, a lot of them said that they had heard the commotion. They heard gunshots, a number of gunshots, although we haven't been able to confirm yet if there was a shooting or what the status of the person they're looking for is. We also just spoke to a neighbor who had just pulled up. He was waiting to get to his home. Again, we're on South Mitchell and Hillman Street right now is where we're set up, and he had pulled up to try and get down to his house at the end, very close to where that crime scene tape is. He wasn't able to get that immediately. Police ultimately let him through, but he said that he had been out with friends getting coffee when he heard someone say that Dave Ward and South Mitchell was closed for this crime scene investigation. And he said, oh my gosh, that's where I live. And from what he was told by police is they were investigating someone who had driven that car, again, by Arkansas State Police and Conway Police.
Just to reiterate, Katrin, you're saying that neighbors are reporting that they heard some kind of shots fired, and then obviously this is where everything ended?
Yes, exactly. Multiple neighbors actually said that they heard multiple shots fired. We did see someone with a metal detector, an investigator with a metal detector going through the grass or the bushes, presumably looking for bullet casings or shells. So it does seem like there was some shooting involved with this. But again, we haven't confirmed what that was, whether that was officers firing at the person in that car or the person in the car firing back. We're not quite sure. But at least according to neighbors, they absolutely heard gunshots, and that was definitely involved in the end scene that you're seeing here now.
All right, let's just recap it, Katrin, for people that are just opening up their mobile phone app. Maybe they're scrolling through Facebook and they're just seeing what's going on. There's a heavy police presence here in this Conway neighborhood. It's Dave Ward and South Mitchell. This is, again, in Conway. You see authorities on the scene here. And Katrin, the police car we're looking at, is that an Arkansas State Trooper?
It is, from what we can tell on our end. Over where we are at Hillman Street and South Mitchell, there are Conway police officers that are stationed here, but that, I believe, is an Arkansas State Trooper. They are overseeing this investigation. I can tell you from what I saw personally, we saw a car pull up and someone wearing a U.S. Marshals shirt got out and was also investigating the scene. I haven't been able to confirm if they are actively involved or not, but I can tell you that at least someone who is part of the Marshal Service was here earlier in the day. So it seems like this is a crime scene that has multiple agencies working together to try and figure out what's going on. And again, it's all focused on that car down at the end of Dave Ward and South Mitchell.
Katrin, I'm getting new information, and this is something that maybe you can try and help us understand a little bit. This is what we're getting. We're learning, according to the iDrive map, this would be the Arkansas Department of Transportation. Let's take a live look here. This is right here near Interstate 40. According to iDrive, the on-ramp to the interstate is also shut down. So can you kind of give us a picture to how far this is from the interstate and how this is affecting that on-ramp? Yeah,
so this is definitely something that stretches from I-40 all the way to where we are here I would say just a rough estimate of how long it took us to get from I-40 down to here with traffic. It was probably about 5 minutes from I-40. When we were getting off of that exit, which you can see there is 129, we could see that the on-ramp was shut down by police. We have spoken on the phone with someone who said that they had actually, they were on the exit ramp of 129 when they saw this car who was on the highway going back and forth. It took police officers a number of maneuvers to get that person off the highway all the way down Dave Ward to South Mitchell. So this is a chase that is spread from I-40 all the way down to this residential area. Again, probably a 5-minute distance from each other. And there are police officers we saw all along the route there. So it really is a pursuit that stretched quite a distance here. It wasn't just set in this one residential area.
All right, this heavy police presence over there, and you see that the on-ramp to Interstate 40 there in Conway is also shut down as Katrin continues to follow the scene out there near Dave Ward and South Mitchell in Conway. We don't have a lot of information just yet related to at least confirmation, because Arkansas State Police is the one that's leading it, and they say that they will be releasing new information as soon as reasonably possible. Of course, it's important to get confirmed information at this point. Again, if you're just joining us, Katrin Asaf is there at the scene. Katrin, recap for folks real quick. You talked with several neighbors. They reported hearing multiple shots fired.
Yes. So again, we're on South Mitchell where it intersects with Dave Ward Drive in Conway. This is a residential area. You can see the crime scene behind me where Arkansas State Police and Conway, who are assisting Arkansas State Police, they're looking at this car here that they say was involved in a pursuit. And then the end result is what you're seeing behind me. We spoke to a number of neighbors who said they heard the commotion. Most of them said they heard multiple gunshots. Again, that's according to neighbors who were in the area and in their homes. Again, that was multiple gunshots. And again, we saw someone with a metal detector, an investigator, going through the grass, trying to find what we assume would be bullet casings or shells. So it does seem like there is some shooting element involved with what we're seeing. But all we've had confirmation of is a pursuit that started on I-40, ended where you're seeing here on South Mitchell.
Katrin Asaf live for us. Katrin, continue to work all of your contacts and sources. We'll see you coming up on KARK 4 News at 4 as we continue to track this developing story. For now, we'll have continuing coverage on our website, KARK.com, Fox16.com, also on our digital platforms as well, and KARK 4 News at 5, Fox 16 News at 5:30 as we continue to figure out what's happening out here. Part of Dave Ward shut down at this hour as law enforcement is investigating this scene near Dave Ward and South Mitchell. For now, I'm Mitch McCoy. This has been a special report.